on Oprah's show, on the Oprah Winfrey Show, doing Change Your Life TV. And then people saw me and other networks came out. I went to her and said, this is what I'd like to do. I said, because other people were coming to me and asking me this. I hadn't even thought about it. And, but the way they...
You can see Iyanla Vanzant talking about snagging better job opportunities while she has a big hit on a major show. You bet her boss wasn't thrilled about it, especially since she had the nerve to bring it up to her face. Iyanla made sure Oprah and the crew got her side of the story straight. But guess what they took from it?
Like you trying to protect your deal over here and force her into a deal. Yes. I said, that won't even in my consciousness.
How could you not know that you're saying those words?
Even when Iyanla laid it out clear as day, here's the twist. Her boss took it to a totally different way.
What I accept is that you knew what you were doing when you walked into that room and that you had the intention to force our hand.
People say being famous is a double-edged sword, especially if you're topping the charts of success. But let's not forget that road has its perks and pitfalls. Over time, we've all cheered for the one African-American lady who's killing it in the TV world. But lately, we're starting to see that some of the glowing categories were kind of fluffed up. There have been whispers from folks who only worked with her once, calling her a nightmare, and some big media dramas seem to back up those scary tales. This time, it's about someone who was in her inner circle for ages and ended up getting the short end of the stick, painted as the bad guy. Fast forward a few decades, and what do you know? Turns out she was totally set up by this super cunning host. As one of the world's most famous faces, tons of people have been keeping tabs on Winfrey since she first hit the scene. And if you haven't been tracking her every move, you've probably at least caught a headline or two. If you fall into either camp, you might be familiar with Iyanla Vanzant. Yep, she's a key chapter in Winfrey's saga, inseparable from the host herself. Back in the day, before her show became the juggernaut it is, Iyanla was right there, lighting up the stage alongside her. You'd think someone so crucial to her journey would be treated like royalty when times got tough, right? But the reality was a far cry from what you'd expect. Just like the endless gossip that the famous host supports other black women's success only in theory, Iyanla's story was living proof. Here was a woman, already a best-selling author, who had hit the reset button on her life because Winfrey, at the height of her success, felt threatened by Iyanla's shine. Over the years, it became an open secret that this host doesn't take kindly to being challenged. And Iyanla, she became the poster child for what happens when you dare go toe-to-toe with her. Iyanla's downfall, orchestrated by the host, cut way deeper than just losing a prime TV slot. It dug into her pockets hard. Despite her hosting chops and fame, she couldn't secure a role on any show and flopped at launching her own. It's crucial to note that, at this time, it all went down while she was dealing with the loss of loved ones. To this day, there's no direct proof linking Winfrey to these setbacks, yet it's oddly coincidental that the start of Iyanla's troubles ties back to the host's name. So you've got to wonder, is she really blameless in all this?
You're someone who had a difficult life, you ended up on welfare trying to raise a family, and then all of a sudden all these opportunities just hit you.
There's one thing that can be said for sure with absolute certainty about Winfrey. Her show has served as a launching pad for a number of prominent figures in the entertainment industry today, including Nate Berkus, Dr. Phil, and Dr. Oz. How do they share a common bond, though? All of them shot to stardom on a global scale as a direct result of the publicity they received from The Winfrey Show. There have been multiple instances in which the so-called Oprah effect has been a game changer. Obtaining her endorsement, appearing frequently on her TV show, or even better, securing a regular spot on the platform of the media mogul has proven to be the enchanted key that has enabled many people to achieve tremendous success in their careers. For others, however, it's been a dream come true, and for others, it has been almost a dream come true. However, for a few people, including Iyanla Vanzant, it has been the exact opposite. It is true that she is one of the individuals who ended up losing on this end of the transaction.
Ready or something, like when you went to her?
They didn't think I was ready, but that was never communicated to me.
Gotcha.
The story of Iyanla's life could very well be the subject of its very own dramas. Initially known by the name Rhonda Harris, she came into the world on the backseat of a taxi in the borough of Brooklyn. Her mother passed away from cancer when she was only 2 years old, leaving her with an absent father who was involved in illicit gambling and a grandmother who mistreated her so badly that she lost skin on her back. This was an unfortunate event that occurred at an early age. There was no improvement in the situation as she grew older. Over the course of her teenage years, Iyanla became a mother to 3 children, all of whom were born to separate fathers. She ended up marrying one of the fathers who later mistreated her and drove her to the point where she considered taking her own life. The entire ordeal began before she had even reached the age of 25. She was living on welfare with only $5 to her name, and her children were the most important thing in her mind at the time. It was a defining moment when she saw a sign when she was riding the bus. The headline stated, "If you're ready to better your life, come to Medgar Evers College." Her first step towards a career in show business was to stroll into Medgar Evers College after getting off the bus. This decision marked the beginning of her journey. As the executive producer and host of the critically acclaimed award-winning series Iyanla Fix My Life, Iyanla made a name for herself on the OWN network. The show became the top reality series there, with Iyanla going into people's homes, uncovering deep-seated issues, and using spiritual principles to help them find peace and healing. Oprah herself has hailed Iyanla as the planet's foremost spiritual healer, fixer, and teacher. Yet despite their professional accolades, Iyanla and Oprah have had their share of disagreements, enduring a rift that lasted over a decade. Yeah, you heard that right. A feud that spanned more than 10 years.
How could you not know that you're saying those words to...
Iyanla shared that she was just juggling so much yet had little clue about the TV biz, hinting that there's all there was to the drama.
Because I did lecture, workshop, class, public speak, don't know, didn't know a doodly about television.
The spotlight moment in Vanzant's journey was her rift with Winfrey. Back in 2000, as a rising motivational speaker, Iyanla became a familiar face on Oprah's show. But the plot thickened in 1999 when another TV network made her an offer she couldn't refuse. This decision led to a silent standoff with Winfrey that lasted 11 years. But there's more to it. Right after getting the offer to helm her own show, Iyanla did reach out to Oprah's team for advice. When they didn't back her move, she took the leap, and chaos erupted. In Iyanla's own recounting, that's the gist of what went down.
Being naive and stupid and asking, but it wasn't received well.
Right.
And that created a breakdown.
Time has flown by, and the two hosts finally sat down to chat, uncovering that their fallout might have just been a big misunderstanding. Reflecting on that talk, Iyanla mentioned that she had initially promised to wait, but then explained her rush, sharing how she had been approached by others and felt ready to move forward. What she didn't grasp at the time was the industry's subtleties. Her detailed explanation came off as if she was trying to play one offer against another, which ended up offending them and led to her being shown the door, in a manner of speaking.
Just being naive and stupid and asking, but it wasn't received well.
Right.
And that created a breakdown in communication. But we were able to repair that. It took 11 years.
After more than 10 years of silence, Iyanla got a call from Winfrey, inviting her to come onto her show to hash out their past issues. It's a bit twisted, right? Considering everything went down away from the public eye, you'd think they'd sort it out privately, but the more well-known of the two had a different idea in mind. She brought Iyanla onto her show and steered the conversation in a way that had Iyanla owning up to her mistakes. On the show, Iyanla opened up about the hard lessons she learned after moving to a different network. "It hit me hard," she shared. "I felt both hurt by not grasping the impact of my departure and guilty, as if I always messed things up." This revealed Iyanla's vulnerabilities, highlighting how her interpretations might have added fuel to the fire. "When you wished me well, that's not how I took it," Iyanla confessed to Winfrey. What she actually interpreted was, "You've messed up, and now you're facing the consequences."
Not coming into that meeting to get us to make a decision for doing a show for you? Yes, but not with that connotation of do it now or...
Sure, Iyanla may have been a little self-doubting, but that's not all. If we look at some of her interviews, it becomes clear as day that she has altered her stance with respect to Oprah Winfrey on several different occasions. And fans haven't been shy to point that out on social media. But why do you think Iyanla left Oprah's show? Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below.